Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos a otro nuevo videito en su canal Set de Buen Ánimo. Y el día de hoy tenemos un invitado especial. We are with
Pinde. I actually grew up in the island of Tonga. If you don't know where Tonga is, it's by Australia and New Zealand, Samoa, Fiji. So it gives you a better way to figure out like where is that at. So yeah.
Este es un videito de cómo nosotros podemos enfrentar las cosas en la vida, cuáles son consejos de una persona que ha pasado por cosas difíciles y que nos puede ayudar mucho a todos allá afuera. Yo acá tengo unas preguntitas que le quiero hacer a Pine, se las voy a hacer en inglés y él va a ir respondiendo conforme a su experiencia. Tell us an experience that was a really hard break for you.
So at one point in my life, I was in a very toxic relationship. The girl that I was with, she was not mentally and emotionally, she was not in a good place, at the time. And I myself was struggling, with my own issues. So when you put together two people like that, it's not a good fit. And no, it's not. So,
no bueno.
no bueno, not good. So it really was very bad. This person and I, we were in a relationship for like a few years. When you've been with somebody for a while, you start to build not just strong bonding between you and them, but there's also this like unbreakable feelings where you don't want to break off. But it got to a point that I almost took my life. So it was bad. And I'm glad looking back that I did not make that decision. And now that I'm here, I'm glad that I'm still here, and that I didn't take my life in behalf of somebody else. It's very important for us to heal from whatever unresolved issues and trauma that you have, so that way you can allow yourself to be fully, invest in somebody else, and then them do the same. And so that way you're not just two unhealed people, just
bringing all your past traumas, your issues, and throw it to the person. So you don't want that. You want to be actually good for the new person to get to know you. It's a really healthy advice that you need to heal first in order to be okay with the next person in your life.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned is that you won't be fully, obviously you can't fully perfect. But at least
you're still dealing every day.
You're still dealing and solving, but you at least be at a better place than where you before, So still continue to overcome whatever. It makes me look back and be grateful that I went through that, And sometimes it's hard because sometimes I feel like for a lot of people, you may look back and man, I wish I can go back and change that. But without that, you won't be as wise
who you are right now.
So I look back and grateful for those situations, because now that I'm a little you get more experience, and it teaches me to still keep going strong.
Okay, estas preguntitas son de un juego que mi amigo tenía y que nosotros nos pusimos a discutir. Bueno, este tipo de preguntas nos ayudarían a ti a explicarle a la gente cómo te has sobrepuesto de problemitas en la vida, y por eso es que estamos con estas preguntitas. What is something that it teach you a lot in a humbly way that you learn here in the United States?
Being here in America, if I look back, I grew up somewhere else. I actually never thought I would be living somewhere when, I'm working and, having a place of my own. Growing up, I never had that. So I think humbling, it really makes me grateful and be grateful to live in a place where, there's more opportunities and there's more, area to grow. It makes me humble to know that God is in the details of our life, and He knows who you are, and He has plans for each and every one of us. Even at times we don't see it, we don't understand, but God has a plan, and He knows, where He wants us to be.
So something that helps you to move forward in life, what is something that you want to share with people?
Because of the way I grew up with my childhood upbringing, I had to learn to forgive. There was a lot of forgiveness and letting go of old past grudges and some of the stuff we hold in our head. It's like letting go of all these heavy weight that have been waiting you for years, and you become more lighter.
Sometimes we make a lot of mistakes in life and we are like, man, I regret a lot, but actually that mistake is a lesson too.
Looking back, God has been there all along. He carried me, throughout my whole childhood upbringing and to where I am now. And it makes me grateful that, God is in the details of our life. And one thing that gives me hope is that because He's been carrying us from when we were a child, what we went through, that we know and have faith and hope that He will continue to carry us whatever we're going through, like onwards. I'm grateful for that knowledge or for that wisdom, knowing that God is always going to be there. So.
Todos lidiamos de diferentes formas con los problemas de la vida. Y aquí nuestro amigo nos pudo compartir cómo él ha superado diferentes tipos de problemas de una u otra forma que al final de cuentas dieron al punto de necesitar a Dios. So I think that it's very important to people to know that your major strength is God.
Yes.
Something that is like helping you to move on with different stuff in your life.
Right.
What are some things that you do to cope with deals in life, with problems, with any issue you have in life?
I go and work out. That's one way to relieve, stress from work or just from life in general. Working out and trying to keep in shape. Trying my best to eat healthy too. That's one way to take care of my body and my health. I also, try to write down my thoughts and emotions. Sometimes when I'm stressing or have all stuff, I write it down in detail specifically. I write it down and then I look at it. It helps me understand myself better and control my own self emotions and thoughts, and helps me collect myself and regroup and continue. I still find ways how to cope with these issues. So it's not as bad as it used to, but I feel like I'm at a better place to understand myself and how I can better heal myself from this issue.
Y bueno, amigos, hemos llegado al final del video del día de hoy. Thank you so much for the interview. I think that is amazing that you already are in another place in your life, like that you have more opportunities and you are taking those experiences as a lesson for you. Bueno, amigos, espero les haya gustado mucho este videito. Recuerden compartir con alguien que sepan que les va a ayudar y no olviden siempre ser de buen ánimo. Hasta la próxima.